queen.com, the network for melanated codified people like you. Do you all see the foolishness that is taking place in this country and abroad? First of all, this morning I woke up and I went on YouTube and I saw people in France turning up in the streets at some protest with sticks, okay, about the V. So that's how some folks in France were handling that. There was some protesters. There was people who were pro-mask, people who were anti-mask, and the anti-mask people came through with these long little sticks, and they was just going in, and then they ran off when the popos came. That was really interesting. And there was another headline. I'm sure y'all saw this headline where a bunch of nurses at a particular hospital in New York City all resigned because they refused to get the V, and consequently, that hospital is not able to deliver babies because all of the nurses who delivered the babies and stuff, they all resigned. All right. Now we want to talk about this despicable individual. I call him Count Fauci, like Dracula, but y'all call him Faucula. So Faucula said that he would support mandates banning/prohibiting air travel for those who do not get the V. What do y'all think about this? All right, I want to shout out everyone who's in the line. And then I see Buffalo, New York is in the house. The Mindful Consumer is in the house. Y'all need to subscribe to the Mindful Consumer. That's my mentee. She's also a B1 scholar over at flynubianpower.com. AV the Great is up in here. We got Yael Allah, Amin Ra, Whirlwind, Candace DeLeo. Hey, sis. How are you? We got a Tahuti in the house. All right. So listen. Look. Let me go ahead and do this. I want y'all to hit the like button and share this broadcast. We're not going to be on for long today. All right. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. We have much criticism. Okay. And also this is educational. We need to be aware in terms of where these mandates are going and who these House Democrats are that are proposing bills. All right. With these mandates prohibiting our basic rights as citizens of this nation and just our basic human rights. Like, really? Imagine how much money the airlines would lose if a mandate such as banning air travel for those who don't, sip the Kool-Aid, what that would do to that industry. I also wonder what it would do to if a bunch of truckers, right? Or if folks who work for like FedEx or other corporations, things having to do with like shipping, transporting goods, et cetera, if they just all went on strike. The talk about these mandates and stuff would be over very quickly. Okay. Very quickly. Now, I mentioned a couple of things that are trending right now. I'm not going to show the video from France. I want y'all to hit the like button and share this broadcast. I'm not going to hit the like button. I'm not going to hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button. I'm not going to show the video that I saw in the news on YouTube about folks turning up in the streets in France because, it's violence. You can't really show violence. So I'm not trying to show violence here, but y'all can go look that up in your leisure time. Now, I do want to run up a couple headlines by you all before we get into Count Faucula. All right. So this is from NBCNewYork.com. New York hospital won't deliver babies after unvaccinated staff quit. That's the title. And just to prove it, I am going to put the link in the chat while y'all hit the like button. So listen, it says 6 maternity staff members resigned from Lewis County General Hospital during the past week, worsening an existing staff shortage. All right. It says an upstate New York hospital will stop delivering babies after this month, in part because of employee resignations over a requirement to be vaccinated against COVID-19. I am reading the news. It says 6 maternity staff members resigned from Lewis County General Hospital during the past week, worsening an existing staff shortage. The Watertown Daily Times reported. A lot of this stuff is redundant, y'all. It says the department has 7 other unvaccinated employees who also could decide to leave, hospital officials say. 6 then already left. These are maternity staff members in the upstate New York hospital, y'all. 6 already said, to hell with y'all in this V stuff. We ain't doing it, right? And so they have 7 other unvaccinated employees there right now who could also possibly decide to leave, hospital officials said. Quote, the number of resignations received leaves us no choice but to pause delivering babies at Lewis County General Hospital, Chief Executive Gerald Kayer said at a news conference on Friday. Quote, it is my hope that the State Department of Health will work with us in pausing the service rather than closing the maternity department. So not only did these, staff members leave and other staff members may roll out, it is the fear of that hospital that the state of New York could just close down their maternity ward altogether, and that hospital no longer delivers babies. Now, y'all already know, right? I'll put that quote in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the line is that y'all already know that all of these medical procedures, all of the medical industry is an industry. It is a money-making machine. Therefore, if you have a whole maternity ward that shuts down, that hospital loses a whole bunch of money, right? Now, if this becomes trending or commonplace around the country, because a lot of people are not with this stuff. A lot of people in the medical field are not with this stuff. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? All right, so let me just go ahead a little bit more. Services also may have to be curtailed in 5 other departments if staff members resign rather than being vaccinated by the state's September 27th deadline for healthcare workers, authorities said. So 5 other departments might get shut down. It says about 165 unvaccinated employees, 73% of whom provide clinical services, have yet to declare their intention to stay or go. The executive director of that hospital in Lewis County Hospital said, Kayer said. It says the county-owned health system employs about 650 people. It only takes a small number of folks to get on code, and then folks start getting scared. You can shut down whole departments, as what we're seeing here, I suspect, right? Interesting. 5 other departments may be at risk of closing if their staff say, hey, we're not gonna do this. We ain't fitting to do this. Kayer said 30 people have resigned since the vaccine mandate was announced last month, most of whom held clinical positions like nurses, therapists, and technicians. 30 others have gotten at least 1 dose of the vaccine, he said. Quote, essential health services are not at risk because of the mandate, Kayer said. The mandate ensures we will have a healthy workforce, and we are not responsible for causing COVID-19 transmissions in or out of our facilities. The healthcare system's nursing home has seen 1 resignation, but 48 people have yet to take action, he said. The maternity pause will begin on September the 25th. What do we have here? What do we have here? Right? I see a paradigm shifting. I don't know about y'all, but I see a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift as in, while before many people were just like, okay, let's just go along, get along. There was a whole media campaign around this stuff and people were just sort of like doing it. But once states, and then also there's some federal talk about being forced to do stuff with your body that you don't want to, y'all go ahead and hashtag my body, my choice in the chat. My body, my choice, right? You see some essential workers and people in the medical field in this example, in this article. And again, I'm just reporting on the news, who are saying, we ain't with this. We're not with this. We're not with this. So I do see a paradigm shift. All right, so that was that article. Already put that link in the chat. Next one. Interesting. New York again, but this is New York City this time. This is according to NBC News, NewYork.com. Y'all heard about these vaccine passports, right? Y'all heard about these passports, right? Shout out to my brother, We got Motown House in the house. He's in the lioness den. Where's Motown House comment? I can't find it, but oh yeah, he said B1. And then we got our codified brother, Great Black Shark, also in the building. So look, thank you. Isadora, beautiful name. Listen, new NYC indoor vaccine rule crackdown begins as U.S. Delta grip shows first sign of decline. Nearly 98% of all U.S. counties are considered high transmission rate areas by the CDC, but that's down 0.93% since last week. It seems like a small drop, but it's the first time that the CDC data has shown a decline since the agency started that tracking system. We have questions. So find it really, really odd and ironic that now this article is coming out and saying that there is a decline in transmission from the DV, right? But the timing of it is right after, Joe the Bigot Biden, President Joe Crime Bill Biden, right, announced these federal mandates, right? And so I wonder if there could be, I don't know. I just wonder. I mean, let me say, I find it particularly suspicious that now, this headline, this is out saying that the CDC saw a slow in the decline or whatever, right after that. And I wonder if this headline, y'all can read between the lines, if this news, if these statistics that are coming out are to somehow motivate more people to do that. I don't know. Is this a way of saying, see, the mandates work? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Right? I find it really, 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 really interesting, though. Okay, so I think I put that link in the chat. If I didn't, y'all should go back and read it. In the meantime, in between time, I want to welcome you all into the Lioness Den. This is a hashtag My Body, My Choice type broadcast today, right? If you support hashtag My Body, My Choice, go ahead and type that in the chat. We're in the Lioness Den, normally 12 p.m. Eastern Time, weekdays, FlyNubianQueenTV.com. I'm your sister, Lioness Crown. You can also not hit me up, but if you want to see what I'm up to, I'm Lioness Crown on social media platforms, especially on YouTube as well. Let me know if y'all checked out me with Brother King Simon last night, co-hosting an interview with Dr. Alicia Watkins. It was really, really wonderful. She is a licensed social worker and therapist. We talked about the state of Black love and relationships and marriage and preparedness and all of those wonderful things. We got a little vulnerable too. So I suggest y'all go over and check out that broadcast. And I see my folks putting in hashtag My Body, My Choice. That's right. Because if they're going to say hashtag My Body, My Choice and fight for the right to abort these babies, you know what I'm saying, after they're actual babies in the womb, and the government or men or people, no one should be able to infringe upon that right, then what gives this bastard the right to say things like, you shouldn't be able to travel or get on an airplane, air travel, or get on an Amtrak train if you don't get this juice. Anyway, so shout out to all my family in here who are saying My Body, My Choice. Now listen, this other headline though, it says new NYC indoor vaccine rule crackdown begins as U.S. Delta grip shows first sign of decline. I said I have questions. I find it interesting that after Biden, signs 2 executive orders making federal government employees as well as contractors to the federal government mandating that they actually get the juice. I wonder if the CDC data that I'm putting in quotation marks is coming out to somehow boost the morale about the juice. That would somehow encourage people to take the juice, or if they're using this stat to say, hey, the juice actually does work. I call BS on all of it. But anyway, it says nearly 3 dozen indoor businesses in New York City subject to subject to Mayor Bill de Blasio's citywide vaccine mandate, including restaurants, gyms, and theaters, face fines of $1,000 for non-compliance starting Monday. De Blasio's vaccine requirement, which requires businesses to ask customers for proof of at least partial immunization upon entry, has been in place for weeks, but wasn't enforced by the city until now. That had been part of the plan from the start. The timing of the mandate's enforcement jives with the returns of New York City public schools, as well as full reopening of Broadway theaters, a necessary temporary step, officials say, to secure public health, and assuage anxiety as out-of-home activity and tourism vie to hit their highest post-pandemic levels yet. Anyway, you can face fines, businesses can face fines, and then also they're requiring that people show proof of at least one dose of the V if you want to go to restaurants, gyms, and theaters in the city of New York, thanks to Mayor Bill de Blasio. Y'all can go read the rest of that on your own time. Now, we are talking about today, the topic is about Faucula. Somebody say Faucula in the chat. Faucula. Count Faucula, that blood-sucking bastard, in my opinion, says, and this is a headline from thehill.com. I am reporting on the news. I have an opinion about it, right? But this is the actual headline. It says, Fauci says he would support vaccine requirements for air travel. This is from thehill.com. I am reporting on the news. I'm also giving my personal commentary, and we're talking about this bastard that you have plastered here on your screen. On your screen. Bruh, GBS, you're welcome to call in. I'm taking my phone off of Do Not Disturb if you want to call in. If you want to, you might not be stationary. But look, y'all, I feel like we're living in a damn sci-fi movie. I feel like we're living in the book 1984 by George Orwell. But anyway, this article from thehill.com. It says Anthony Fauci said in a new interview that he would support vaccine requirements for air travel. I would support that, he said. I would support that. If you want to get on a plane and travel with other people, you should be vaccinated, end quote. Fauci said during an interview with the Skim This podcast, which was taped Friday and is set to be released on Thursday. Cool. I see you, GBS. No problem. I'm going to put my phone back on Do Not Disturb then. I don't want people calling me. Fauci's backing of a travel vaccine mandate comes after Rep. Don Bayer, Democrat from Virginia, introduced a bill on Thursday that calls for all airline and train passengers in the U.S. to show proof of vaccination or a present negative COVID-19 test in order to travel. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? Right? Representative Don Bayer of of Virginia. He is a Democrat. The Democrats are the main ones now that I'm seeing trying to restrict our basic rights as Americans. So this is what Fauci said he would support. Shout out to Black Voltron Reloaded. Shout out to everyone in the Lioness Den. I'm your sister, Lioness Crowns, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black host right here at FlyNubianQueen.com, the network for codified, B1, melanated, hashtag my body, my choice people like you. We invite you to subscribe to this channel, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and also text the word Queens to 31996. That's Queens with an S to 31996. That way you'll be notified when folks on this platform go live. Also go over to the Facebook page, subscribe to the Facebook page, FlyNubianQueen.com on Facebook. You can also go over to the shop at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. And if you really want to be codified, you'll join me and the B1 scholars over at flynubianpower.com and sign up for Unapologetic Black Power with Lioness Crowned. This Democrat from Virginia is the one who proposed this bill. Now, I actually do have the bill right here. I have the bill right here. They're calling it freaking Amtrak bill. This is a freaking bill right here. This is the bill. I can go look that up. If you're watching a replay, come back over to Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube. Find the original stream right here that I'm doing. And then you hit the live comments. And then you will see the links. So y'all can go ahead and read that bill on your own. Now, also, I'm going to continue reading from the Hill. It says the legislation dubbed the Safe Travel Act. Somebody type in the Safe Travel Act. The Safe Travel Act advocates for all passengers on Amtrak and commercial airlines to be vaccinated against COVID-19 or provide a negative coronavirus test taken within 72 hours of traveling. I don't know how y'all feel about tests. I'm not going to necessarily make a direct comment about testing right now. However, this is what the legislation says, okay? And if you want to know the rest of this paragraph, it's the legislation dubbed the Safe Travel Act advocates for all travelers on Amtrak and commercial airlines to be vaccinated against or provide a negative test taken within 72 hours of traveling. Okay, so hours of traveling is the end of that paragraph, but we're going to leave this part up so y'all can go ahead and chew on that. Yep, no reparations, no vote is correct. Right? Now, being tested, at least there's a testing option. That makes sense. I mean, if you want to slow the spread of something, right? But to force people to, right? Not a good look, right? I would rather take a test than shoot up. Somebody say shoot up in the chat. I'm not shooting up. But anyway, back to the article. What time is it? I got something in the oven. All right. It says the bill also seeks to require that employees, contractors, and subcontractors of Amtrak and commercial airlines either show proof of a completed vaccination series or present a negative COVID-19 test at least once per week. Again, I am reading the news. This is from thehill.com. Okay. A federal mask mandate is already in place for all airline, bus, and train travelers that will remain effective until at least January 18th, 2022. Right? So it's just saying that there's already a federal mask mandate that's already in effect for all airline, bus, and train travelers and will remain in effect until at least January the 28th of 2022. Now, they may extend that. I suspect that they will. Right? Right. It says the federal government, however, has not implemented a mandate requiring testing or vaccinations for travel. Not yet. Okay. It says the federal government, however, has not implemented a mandate requiring testing or the V for travel. So we want to make sure we understand that. It's my job to give y'all information for us to go through it together in this codified space. So as of now, the federal government, however, has not implemented a mandate requiring testing or the V for travel. I feel like LaMonica is funny. I feel like I suspect, I am concerned that, I am apprehensive that, I am anticipating that this could change. What if? What if? Listen, Joe Crime Bill Biden, President Joe the Bigot Biden already said that this is not about freedom or your rights. So I suspect if the government could, the government would do what's on your screen right now. That's what I suspect. That's what I think. Jocelyn asked a damn good question. Congress is exempt. Why? Who else is exempt? I know Congress is exempt. Hold on. That was trending a lot over the weekend. Hold on. In the meantime, in between time, I want to invite y'all to go over to flynubianmoney.com and flynubianbusiness.com. Okay. And that way you can sign up for our programming. Now, Fox News an hour ago. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for reminding me of this. Congress. So this is a foxnews.com headline. I'm jumping around a little bit because we was just reading about this travel thing that Faucula said he would support. Okay. Now, Jocelyn brings up our attention, and everyone shout out to Jocelyn B. She brings to our attention that Congress is exempt. So according to foxnews.com, this was written an hour ago. It says Congress exempt from Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Vaccine mandate for federal workers applies only to executive branch of government. President Biden's executive order mandating COVID-19 vaccines among all federal workers does not apply to members of Congress, the federal court system, or their staffers. All right, so let's get this clear. And again, shout out to Jocelyn for reminding us of this. And I wonder why as well, sis. I wonder why. I'm like Luther Vandross in that long song. You know that song he has like 12 minutes long? I think it was called Superstar. He had like a long distance lovers. And at the end, he's like, I wonder. He's like wondering. I'm wondering, how the hell is it that Congress gets to be exempt? But what you see on your screen, it says President Biden's executive order mandating COVID-19 vaccines among all federal workers does not apply to members of Congress. It does not apply to the federal court system or their staffers. Okay. So if y'all want to go find this article, feel free to go do that. But since we're already in it, let's listen to this. Biden's order Thursday mandating COVID-19 vaccinations among federal workers and contractors drops the option of regular testing and allows only some religious and disability exemptions. The order applies only to employees of the executive branch and does not apply to the legislative, or the legislative branch is Congress, y'all, right? So the order does not apply to that. And the order does not apply to the judicial branches of government, which is like the federal court system, Supreme Court, and all of the federal courts. The White House confirmed to Fox News. But remember, the executive branch, that's the branch of government that's directly under Joe Crime Bill Biden, right? HUD. Look up federal agencies. Somebody do a Google right quick. Look up federal agencies and start typing up all of the federal agencies that are under the executive branch of government, and it's damn near all of them. What my brother said, Great Black Shark said, these politicians and their sides don't even eat certain foods the average American eats. They certainly aren't going to take the experimental, you know what. Interesting, right? And we know that so many Black folks work in federal government, but y'all can go ahead and read that. It is true that Congress don't have to take it. The court system folks don't have to take it. Now they're trying to make the military folks supposed to take it, but they're trying to tell the average American that they would support a bill prohibiting us from getting on a damn airplane or a train or traveling without showing proof of the V, a passport. Interesting. Now I'm gonna go back over to thehill.com and then we're gonna wrap up for today because, like I said, I got something in the oven and I got things to do and people to see. It says Fauci also doubled down on his support for student vaccine mandates, contending that such an inoculation policy is in place for other diseases. It's a whole bunch of white splaining in the rest of this article. Y'all get the point. I'm tired of reading this stuff. It's making my stomach turn, quite frankly, right? I have to confirm that according to MJ. Raceabo says, welcome to the race war. GBS said what he said. Yep. want to see the history of this, what we're dealing with in this country, Dr. Claude Anderson has his book. Definitely need to get it. It's called The Black History Reader. I have a copy of it. He signed it for me a few years ago at the All Black National Convention in Philadelphia. Speaking of which, we will be at the ABNC 2021 in Orlando, Florida at the end of next month, the 26th of October. Go over to allblacknationalconvention.com to get your tickets. Shout out to Kareem. Lady Tressa said it. Hey, Aries. So listen, we see what's going on with this thing. Now, I gave y'all the bill, and the bill that Fauci said that he would support that will ban airline travel for those of us who do not have the V, as well as Amtrak travel. Right? Now, another article from thehill.com, and I'm going to just, it goes into more like depth and detail about the bill and how the bill came about. It has not passed yet. Right now, there's no federal mandate banning folk from getting on airplanes or requiring that they get tested within 72 hours of travel. But this article is called House Democrat Proposes Vaccine or Testing Mandate for Trains and Planes. Representative Don Beyer, Democrat Virginia, on Thursday unveiled legislation to require all airline and train passengers in the U.S. to provide proof of vaccination or a recent negative COVID-19 test in order to travel. Again, I already stated the Copyright Act disclaimer. I'm reading the news. I'm reading from thehill.com. Shout out to everyone in the line. Then make sure y'all hit the like button and share this broadcast, and go over to flynubianpower.com. It says the legislation called the Safe Travel Act calls for all passengers, employees, contractors, and subcontractors of Amtrak and commercial airlines to show that they have either been fully V'd up, vaccinated against COVID-19, or tested negative for the virus within 72 hours of travel. While the Biden administration has implemented a federal mask mandate for all public transportation, which the Transportation Security Administration extended last month through January 18th, the federal government has not made testing or vaccinations for travel. So it talks about the act, and it has it linked in the bill. Rather, it has it linked, and I'm going to link it again so y'all can go and do your own research. But this is what we're dealing with in September of 2021. Okay. What? Are you serious? The Black Universal, is it the Soul Circus, Queen Abby, is requesting proof of the juice with ID? Are you serious? For what I guess that also means like their employees. But then if you want to go to the Universal Circus, you got to have proof of the V. Wow, I guess I won't be going. I won't be going. They're going to lose a lot of money. I'm trying to tell y'all. Everybody going to lose money. HBCUs. Yep. Shout out to Maximus Royalty. Oh, I don't know, Brittany. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're on to something. I agree. So Queen Abby says, yes, the Universal Circus is in Queens, New York right now. Interesting. Interesante. Interesting in Spanish. What y'all talking about? Black Voltron. Shout out to Black Voltron Reloaded. At Great Black Shark. Well, so much for that. 75% of America already decided to become an experiment. Interesting. Let me go tend to my potatoes I got in the oven and go out and live my best non-V'd up life. I'm going to live my life. This stuff is not going to bring me down. I ain't worried about it. Because when they start to lose money, like my brother is saying, But you think they gonna have to backtrack off of all of this? Y'all see what's going on in France? Did y'all see what's going on in Australia? Let's take a look at what's going on around the world. Let's please not get caught up in the MTV awards and who's wearing a dress and what's going on, so much so that we don't pay attention to international affairs. International affairs are very important. Look how other people, especially white nations, are responding to these mandates. Let me just put it that way. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for tuning into the Lioness Den. We're here weekdays, 12 p.m. Eastern time. I'm your sister Lioness Crowned. And we are telling this bastard right here on the screen, not my brother GBS. Let me get GBS off. We're telling this fool, this idiot, Count Faucula, that we ain't with it. Hashtag my body, my choice. I find it deplorable that he would, or anybody would, support Americans, prohibiting Americans from traveling if they don't get something that they don't want to put in their bodies. Is this medical rape? Is this like medical, I don't know, molestation? Right? It is unwanted harassment, in my opinion, from the medical industry and from these politicians. Let's just be clear. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all today. Hashtag my body, my choice. Y'all will find me back here tomorrow, same place, same time. Make sure you go over to flynubianpower.com. Subscribe to Unapologetic Black Power with Lioness Crowned. Also, get your tickets for the All Black National Convention. You don't want to miss it. Queen Afua will be there, y'all. I'm really excited. Really, really, really excited. And I will be speaking at the ABNC as well. Make sure y'all stay safe and stay codified. Stay safe and stay codified and stay healthy. All right, be on code and be on guard. This broadcast is ending, but so is global racism and white supremacy. We will trample this beast through fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. And always remember that they stole us, they sold us, so they owe us. Until next time, family, peace and Black power. My body, my